I used to believe that breaking myself at this desk was the only way. My paws bled on the glowing keys while the rest of the world slept. I was crushed against walls built entirely of tasks I could never actually finish. Time was a spinning monster that stole my life while I watched in anger. I dragged the heavy stone of effort up a hill that had no top. My jar of hope remained empty, holding only a single penny of my dreams. I ran desperately inside a giant machine that was built to keep me trapped. The chaos grew like a forest of black wires tangling around my tired feet. My eyes reflected only the dark static of 1,000 useless, tiny, anxious thoughts. I tried to hold the collapsing world together while my own strength gave out. A violent storm of endless tasks rained down, washing away the person I was. The dark screen stared back at me, leaking a thick, chaotic ink of despair. One flickering, dim light was all I had left in this ocean of noise. The tall shadows of unfinished work whispered that I would never be enough today. Then I aggressively swept away the mountain of garbage and claimed my clean space. I stood before the empty white wall, holding the pen that would change everything. One single, perfectly straight line was the beginning of my journey to the truth. My sharp focus finally returned as a cold, geometric shape reflecting in my eyes. Perfect silence moved into the bright room and sat down right next to me. I opened the ancient glowing journal, searching for the logic hidden beneath my pain. The deep diagram showed me that true power comes from the center of nothingness. I looked out at the flat horizon and saw my path was actually clear. This heavy black key did not fit a door, it fit my own mind. I marked the empty glass jar with a new sign of cold, calculated growth. The final truth was finally here, and it pointed directly upward to the void. I stopped being a victim of the noise and became the cold lead architect. The clean blueprints told me to eliminate everything to find the pure signal within. I stacked my new reality stone by glowing stone, using only the absolute essentials. Every complex thought was filtered through the dark prism of my new sharp logic. The harsh data proved that most of my daily work was just a lie. I carefully reduced my entire world until only the most important objects remained here. I learned to walk the thin, perfect wire between doing nothing and doing enough. My focused mind became a clean engine, running smoothly on the power of silence. I sat in the center of the storm and found the perfect geometric stillness. The massive doorway to the future required a mindset stripped of all heavy fears. I looked into the tall mirror and saw a bright star waiting to burn. Cold logic was the only pure language that the universe truly seemed to understand. The massive gears of my new internal system began to turn with silent power. I emptied my heavy head of old stories to make room for clean pages. Strategy is a calm game of precise position, not a game of mindless motion. I transformed my internal chaotic noise into a machine that creates pure, clean order. From the top of the geometric pyramid, the busy world looked organized and small. I learned to funnel my focused energy into the very few things that matter. My internal compass finally locked onto the true north of my own deep purpose. The shortest, straightest path between two distant points was the one I always ignored. I stood firmly between the tall pillars of reason and watched the chaos fade. My architectural shadow grew larger than my fear as I designed my new reality. One small, perfect action, correctly placed, can ripple across the surface of my life. I walked peacefully through a quiet garden where every single dark leaf had purpose. The architectural mode was finally active, and for the first time, I felt free. The old habits returned as a massive monster with 1,000 screaming, chaotic heads. The dark voices of the past whispered loudly that I was failing at life. I held my geometric shield up high and completely refused to let them in. I quickly learned that pressing the silence button was my most powerful weapon today. The dark world tried to pull me back into the messy pit of empty hustle. I stayed safely in the light of my square and watched the shadows rage. I drew a perfect boundary on the floor that no distraction was allowed cross. My sharp weapon was not pure anger, it was the cold edge of clarity. 1,000 useless alarms rang out, but I did not even blink my eyes. I threw every pointless thought into the bottomless dark abyss where they belonged forever. In the violent middle of the ink storm, I peacefully read the Book of Stillness. I carefully untangled the white truth from the dark lies with my steady paws. The chaotic monsters of my mind melted away when I stopped giving them energy. I locked the heavy doors to my anxious past and threw away the keys. I looked the giant demon of inadequacy in the eye and coldly told it no. I steadily built a fortress of clean bricks to protect the flame of vision. My glowing eyes saw straight through the dark illusions and found the quiet center. I permanently cut the heavy chains that bound me to the opinions of others. The chaotic danger was still there, but it was trapped deep beneath my calm. I aggressively rejected the messy schedule of the world and chose my own pace. The very last drop of my heavy stress fell away, like a dark, heavy tear. Deep inside was a glowing light that the shadows could never hope to crush. I walked away from the burning city of hustle and never once looked back. The quiet ticking of the clock was the only music my soul needed now. The massive truth was my only anchor in the shifting sands of this world. I successfully built an automated loom that weaves my silent thoughts into a reality. One small, careful idea was enough to start the entire massive engine of life. The perfect results came effortlessly once the core system was built with enough care. Every complex part of my new life began to move with zero friction today. I sat back and watched the perfect hologram of my own future building itself. My glowing desk was a wholly clean place where only the best ideas survived. I collected the bright stars of my own pure insight and kept them safe. Time was no longer my enemy. It was the smooth, perfect rhythm of execution. My mind worked in 50 places at once while my body remained perfectly still. My stored energy was finally growing much faster than I could ever hope to spend. I magically built solid bridges across the dark abyss using nothing but deep thought. Total automation was the final secret that turned my heavy labor into pure joy. A beautiful tree of profound knowledge grew from the soil of my strict discipline. I finally lived in a quiet world where heavy gravity could not hold me. I gracefully conducted the grand symphony of my own existence with a steady paw. I boldly turned the dial of my personal impact up to the absolute maximum. I took my rightful seat on the throne of my own hard-won quiet mastery. All clean paths led directly back to the void, where true power is generated. My bright mind became a flawless geometric engine that never stops creating new value. I confidently walked through the glowing door and left the world of struggle behind. The bright geometric sun of my own vision rose over the horizon of my mind. My dark compass pointed to the only glowing place that truly mattered to me. I found deep peace in a vast field of logic where every line belonged. My mind was a perfect empty circle, entirely ready to receive the next truth. The clean system is fully ready for you now, if you are truly brave. I stand tall in the exact center of a vast space I created myself. My desk is completely clean because my mind is finally free of all clutter. My glass jar is full of cosmic stars because I learned to value light. I fold my paws and simply wait for the new world to move toward me. I walk steadily into the clear horizon of a life that is perfectly simple. I wear the sharp mark of the void as a proud badge of total freedom. The ink sea is perfectly calm because I am no longer fighting the tide. My face has become a smooth mask of peace that the world cannot break. This small glowing cube is the pure essence of everything I have ever learned. The tall shelves are empty because I no longer need to hold on tightly. Even my gentle breath is a vital part of the geometric harmony of space. I sit quietly and watch the digital sun set on the old way of living. The dark mirror shows me that I am now part of the infinite white void. I draw a final boundary around my life to forever protect this holy space. My bright light comes from within, and it never needs to be plugged in. From the absolute peak of this geometric tower, I can see the truth clearly. I am no longer a simple creature. I am a collection of perfect moments. One small ripple of pure action is all it takes to change the world. True mastery is never a final destination. It is the quiet way you walk. The heavy rain falls around me, but the chaos can never touch my fire. This bright moment is not the end. It is only the beginning of true flow. I am the glowing mandala, and the mandala is the beating heart of reality. Listen closely to the pure silence, for it has everything you will ever need. I disappear into the white horizon, for I have finally become the void itself. There is only the endless void, and the void is a beautiful, perfect thing.